Paukenschlag bei der BDO gesorgt. Er gewann das World Masters, das traditionsreichste Major-Turnier in der Geschichte 2017. Und längst ist er auch Stammgast auf der European Tour. Die Rede ist von the Polish Eagle Krzysztof Ratajski. Der Gegner von Krzysztof Ratajski ist einer der European Tour Sieger der letzten Jahre. 2014 setzte er sich aus der Qualifikation kommend in Salzburg durch. Er ist zurzeit die Nummer 35 der Welt und bekannt als der schnellste Werfer auf dem Planeten Erde. Herzlich willkommen, the Dutch Destroyer Vincent van der Voort.
Final match of the afternoon session on day one of the German Darts Championship 2018 here at the Halle 39 in Hildesheim, and it features a man who last year almost perfected the art of Euro Tour qualifying, making it through to 11 of 12 of these European tournaments. The Polish number one, Krzysztof Ratajski, hasn't been as prolific in 2018, and he's only got one more European Tour event to come this year. He won't be involved in Maastricht, he won't be involved in Riesa, but he will be involved in Göttingen in October. So a man who certainly has to make the most of this particular opportunity, but he's up against a man who has tasted success on the European Tour before in the shape of Vincent van der Voort, the man who won the Austrian Open in 2014. And we talked earlier about what a significant weekend this is for several players, as they attempt to qualify for a number of TV majors in the second half of 2018. And Dan Dawson, that very much applies to Vincent van der Voort.
It certainly does. Big Vincent, he's hovering around that top 32 in the world, which is obviously important for getting into, say, the World Championship, being a seeded player.
Ladies and gentlemen, first leg is Vincent to throw first. Game on.
But over and above that for Vincent,
game on.
But over and above that for Vincent, we've not seen him really light up the Euro Tour. He's been appearing every now and again and winning a game, but it's never more than just one game in these Euro Tours so far this year. So picking up those
96
£2,000 pots of money. And they all add up.
46.
Yeah, first round defeat in Hamburg last time out. He had a first round defeat by Marco Kantler in Leverkusen at the start of the year. The two second round defeats he suffered were against Cross and Van Gerwen, so you could argue he's been unfortunate in that respect as well, but he's failed to qualify for 5 previous European Tour events this year, and that has been, well, could ultimately be his downfall as far as qualifying for the European Championship is concerned,
140.
and also as far as making it into some of these TV majors coming up is concerned as well.
Yeah, and the number 2 seed, Michael Smith, awaits the winner of this one. Interesting in that, you know, Michael Smith has a fantastic record on the European Tour, but
55.
It's not been great for him in the last month or so on the World Series, despite the fact, you know, you only go back the month before, he won
100
in Shanghai, the Chinese leg of the World Series, his first televised title.
Well, he's lost his last 5 European Tour matches, Michael Smith.
Yeah, strange, isn't it?
Stemming back to that semi-final defeat.
98.
Lost in the first, or his opening match in Gibraltar, Zwolle, Copenhagen and Hamburg.
Tops for a 15 darter.
35.
But he will come back, Vincent. Be quite interesting if Krzysztof were to face Michael Smith, because Krzysztof, obviously the Polish #1.
95.
Michael Smith,
Vincent, you require 40.
his wife Dagmar's Polish. I'm sure that at one stage Michael's investigating perhaps making an investment in Krzysztof as a player.
Vincent van der Voort. Second leg is Krzysztof to throw first.
Nice little subplot that one to a potential second round match. Beautiful.
108.
Ratajski off to a flyer in leg 2 as he looks to get back on terms.
Krzysztof has already won a ranking event this year despite not having his tour card.
44.
He won one of the UK Open qualifiers. And we saw all the way through last year just how good this man is. I mean, he won the World Masters.
96.
Kept turning up and winning the European Tour qualifiers and being a real threat on the Euro Tour. 100 averages, high 90s, just ticking along at that sort of like 97, 98 average. Seemingly, he could do it all day. It's exactly what he did at the World Masters.
140.
And even though he's not been as prolific in Europe this year, he's still had a fairly productive year, financially boosted by that success at a UK Open qualifier at the start of 2018. He made the quarterfinals of 2 others, so that was a really lucrative spell for him. He's earned just under £32,000 since the World Championship.
45.
It's only Rob Cross who ended his campaign at the UK Open as well.
180.
Vincent van der Voort produces his first maximum, and it is worth absolutely nothing.
Krzysztof Ratajski. Their leg is Vincent to throw first. Game on.
Yeah, Ratajski won 2 of these European Tour qualifiers last weekend. There were 4 of them in total in Prague. For this and the final 3 tournaments of the year. He won't be involved in the next 2, but like I say, he will be involved in Göttingen. The man who made it through to Maastricht, by the way, Karol Sedlacek of the Czech Republic. So a bit of history next weekend as the first Czech player to feature on the European Tour, which is great news.
Yeah, particularly ahead of the Czech Republic becoming part of the European Tour next year when they go to Prague. Haven't had the calendar confirmed yet, but they have been tipped off that Prague is going to be a new venue on the European Tour, and I don't know exactly how it's going to work in terms of host nation qualifiers, if they'll have 4 spots or whether they do it like Denmark where they had 2 and then 2 more Scandinavian spots, so we'll see.
127.
But Sedlacek could well be benefiting from that. We may see him again next year. See if he can put in a performance next weekend. At the moment, Vincent van der Voort's putting a performance in this leg.
Certainly is. Tops 2 cracks at it for a 2-1 lead.
14.
Well, no need to press any panic buttons just yet for Vincent van der Voort in this leg.
95.
Patrick Kovac qualifying from Hungary as well for Riesa, which is another feather in the cap for Hungarian darts.
No score.
Well, Ratajski will just keep putting the pressure on here, and it may well tell in the end.
44.
Not a great deal of pressure, it has to be said.
No, could have been better. I think Vincent will be breathing slightly easier now.
Krzysztof to throw first. Game on.
Vincent, of course, is a man who's gone through
83.
a lot of quite serious and painful rehabilitation to deal with this back problem he's got. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if he hasn't picked up a dart for a big chunk of the time off that he's had over the last couple of months. But it also wouldn't surprise me if he's carried on having to do some of that rehab work, just because he knows he's going to get back and playing regular darts again.
Yeah, late last year it was a very intensive...
100.
Well, it was almost non-stop rehab for a month or so. He just relentlessly tried to get on top of it.
not been pleasant.
41.
Vincent, he has been struggling. This is a bit of a struggle for Krzysztof over the last couple of legs. Looked like he kicked into gear in that second leg with a 14 darter, and then he's been really at the races since then.
100.
This is the final game of the afternoon session.
Yeah, the talking points so far today, the two host nation
84.
qualifiers who have played this afternoon are both out. Christopher Hensch, no surprise perhaps to see him lose to Darren Johnson, who was very, very good on his finishing today. But,
oh my.
Oh,
136.
well, that came out of nowhere, sorry about that.
156.
That would have been the story of the day if Vincent van der Voort had pulled off that one.
Well, this was the game that stood out to me at the start of the day, the World Master against the former winner on the Euro Tour.
100.
But it looks as if the World Master is second best at the minute.
$17.
It wild, those two, though.
48. Vincent, you require 8.
Well, the finishing from both has been far from emphatic so far, but Vincent van der Voort won't mind one shot. He's 3-1 to the good.
To throw first. Game on.
He's missed a lot more doubles than he's actually hit, but he is in nevertheless a good position here.
Yeah, as you were saying, the two Germans we've seen in action, including the German #1, Max Hopp, beaten this afternoon. Only picking up 2 legs between them. 2 for Max Hopp, 0 for Christian Hensch. Andrew Gilding doing the damage
97.
against Max. Stunning display from Ron Meulenkamp, ended with an average in excess of 102, but it was up at 110 for significant chunks of his game against Richard North.
180.
3 maximums for the Dutch destroyer so far in this one. Tonight,
96.
Adrian Jackpot Lewis, the 2-time world champion, takes on one of the top players from Spain, Tony Alcinas. 9-time major finalist Terry the Bull Jenkins back in Euro Tour action. 3-time major winner and all-time great Robert Thornton against one of the other German qualifiers, Robert Marianovic. Nico Blum, teenage
94.
German prospect.
Vincent, you require 121.
Be up past his bedtime against Cristo Reyes. And it'll all start with
45.
Martin Schindler, the German #2, against the forced Justin Pipe, who has been on the practice board all the way through this afternoon. Back in one of the players' rooms backstage here at Halle 39 in Hildesheim.
Vincent, you require 76.
76 needed for Vincent van der Voort to stretch his lead to 3. Can't be done now.
36. Krzysztof, you require 114.
Will he get the opportunity? No, he won't.
98.
But it did take Vincent about 7 attempts to hit this double top earlier.
On the 5th leg.
He looks almost relieved to get that single 20 out of the way, just move on elsewhere, didn't he? And in the end, he got the job done, 4-1. And Ratajski looks a shadow of the player we saw so many times on the European Tour last
98.
year. Just struggling for any sort of consistency on the scoring. He's averaged only 86 at the moment. He's 1 from 6 on his double so far as well.
100.
Yeah, well, 5 darts missed at double by Krzysztof, but that is dwarfed by the 14 missed darts at double by Vincent van der Voort. And that is why the averages are pretty close together, even though Vincent has been kind of dominating this game.
Yeah, and in one of those legs, he was just afforded so much time and space, wasn't he? That's the thing. There'll be those who argue that this is all beginning to catch up with Krzysztof Ratajski. I think it would be foolish to write him off just yet, as far as his ability to make it to the European Championship is concerned. He's got a lot of work to do, certainly in this match. But he may well need to have a big, big weekend in Göttingen
140.
Because Van der Voort is continuing to put in some big scores when he needs to. This would help him no end, though. This would help him no end if Ratajski can find the bullseye.
121. Vincent, you require 121.
Still searching for a big finish here at the German Darts Championship.
97. Krzysztof, you require 49.
Yeah.
On the sick leg, Krzysztof Ratajski.
Needed a confident takeout just to get himself going.
Game on.
Well, the 2 legs he's won have both been 14 darters. That's 107 average. Unfortunately for Krzysztof, the rest of it has not been particularly good.
140.
There you see. Vincent's been ticking along with 6 visit legs, and that's been enough so far. And it's not really what you expect, because against
140.
the world master and a man who's been so consistent, you're expecting most legs to be won in 5 visits.
77.
Van der Voort overcame Christian Kist and Dimitri Vandenberg last night in qualifying for
137.
this. Losing just 4 legs over the course of those 2 matches, 6-1 against Kist.
Christian Kist, another Dutchman who you're never quite sure what you're going to get because of the
86.
injuries that he's been struggling with. I mean, between him and Vincent, you just pray they both make it to the end of the game before having to stop.
More like it, Krzysztof.
177.
And this time it's on the Van der Voort throw as well. That could be a game changer. Might just give him some renewed self-belief for the Polish number 1. But Van der Voort fights back, how Van der Voort has fought back so many times before. Double 16 again, took it out, no problems last time, takes it out, no problems once again. And there's the break, 4-3. Game on.
It's Krzysztof to throw first. Game on.
Now, Krzysztof Ratajski, has he found his range? 2 very confident legs, 14 darter and an 11 darter.
Yeah, said it would be foolish to write him off just yet.
96.
And the average has climbed up to a very much more Polish eagle-like 95. Much between them.
$41.
Van der Voort has stolen the darts.
Yeah, and that's why why Ratajski was looking so frustrated
40.
After that previous visit, although he may well be let back in here.
$98. $59.
Well, a difficult one to call we've got here because Vincent was bullying Ratajski for a big chunk of this game. But a couple of strong legs has got Krzysztof
59.
right back into it, and the Polish number 1 could set up a meeting with the bully boy Michael Smith.
100.
Whose recent record over the last month is not great, whose recent record over the last few months on the Euro Tour is not great either. Although his record overall on the European Tour is, well, second only to Peter Wright and Michael van Gerwen, really.
Ratajski's got 90 left here, and it's advantage Ratajski now, whatever happens with this final dart.
135.
Because Van der Voort's on a bogey number.
$30.
And that has just strengthened his claims once again. 4-1 down. He's on the verge of levelling things up at 4 apiece. 20 for tops to bring about parity in this one.
52. Vincent, you require 132.
Well, I've seen Van der Voort take out 132 several times on the European Tour. Going that route. Not to be this time, though.
107.
A good guide for the bullseye. Certainly looked it. Van der Voort's reaction suggested that he quite fancied it. However, we do have a level game.
Seen him take the bull double 16 on at least 2 occasions on the European Tour. Not to be this time, but it was almost a similar route to glory for Vincent van der Voort. But we do have level pegging in this match, and Ratajski's character clearly evident in the way he's clawed his way back. He looked to be a beaten man at 4-1 down. Didn't seem to be going anywhere. The scoring seemed to have tailed off. The finishing was very below par as well, but everything has picked up.
He has to find another break of throw.
.98.
Michael Smith, the number 2 seed, awaits the winner of this one.
85.
Plenty of room for one more.
140.
It is enough to get to a finish. Ratajski missed the ball for a 170 earlier. But he won't need to go for it here. He has the luxury of being able to get 6 darts at this. It's got to go in those 6 though.
100.
And that might be enough.
.83.
It doesn't like that one bit.
64.
Okay, he's down to a finish, but Ratajski, you'd rather be in his shoes now, because he is looking at double 8s. And Ratajski has won 4 legs on the bounce. He was 4-1 down, but he's turned it on. He's just rediscovered something. He leads 5-4, and he's 1 away from a meeting with Michael Smith tomorrow in round 2. Brilliant, brilliant response by the Polish number 1.
Well, we saw Jan Dekker come from 2-0 down to Darius Labanauskas earlier on after making a sluggish start. And he did up his game, but Labanauskas allowed him to. He missed chances. He kind of just
100.
got worse, Darius, that allowed his opponent in. I'm not sure that Vincent's level has deviated that much. It's just Krzysztof has raised his game, because there have been legs where he's just not been competitive in this one.
130.
In the second half of this game, he has been the better player. He has dragged his average up from the mid-80s to the mid-90s.
140.
Granted, that 8th leg was a little bit scrappy, but Van der Voort only got that 1 dart at the bullseye to win it for himself.
.96.
And the finishing line is in sight. Finishing line that even Ratajski must have doubted he'd be able to cross in this match. Not over just yet. 1-2-1 plays 1-3-5. Ratajski first poke at it. Bullseye first dart. 85 left. Treble 15, treble 19. 15s would have left tops.
83. Vincent Uruguay, 121.
Well, this has to go, you feel, here for Vincent van der Voort. Treble 17 would have left the bull. It's not to be. Ratajski returns looking at 52 for a place in round 2 here in Hildesheim. And it would wrap up an astonishing fight back from 4-1 down. He's looking at 16s, he's still looking at 16s, and now he's looking at a place in round 2 and a meeting with Michael Smith, the number 2 seed tomorrow. A terrific test of character for Krzysztof Ratajski, which he has come through with flying colours to see off Vincent van der Voort in some style as well. Plenty to admire about the way Ratajski fought back there. 4-1 down, he reels off 5 on the bounce against a man who has, of course, tasted success on the European Tour. And Krzysztof Ratajski rounds off a terrific afternoon session on day 1 in Hildesheim.
Krzysztof, congratulations. There was a slow start, but a great comeback.
Yeah, for the start it wasn't a good match, but later I play much more better.
Michael Smith, the next one, number 2 seeded.
Yeah, it's a top player, I know, but tomorrow is next day, next match.
Okay, see you tomorrow. Thank you very much. Krzysztof Ratajski, trifft also auf den Bully Boy und sagt, mal sehen, wie das morgen so laufen wird. Weiß natürlich um dessen Klasse. Der ist die Nummer 2, der setzt